friends, and I welcome you all for this video lecture series. And in this series, we are going to learn the components of UiPath Studio Pro Community user interface. So on my screen, you can see UiPath Studio Community Pro homepage, and I'll take you through all the options, all the buttons available here, and one by one, we'll discuss all the buttons which you can use for designing a workflow. So to start with, I'll click on process and I'll create a process. So once you click on process, you can create a new project by clicking that process, and you can give a name to that process or a project. Here you can decide the location where you want to save this project, and here you can give a brief description. So I'm giving description dummy project for video lecture series. So after giving the name, I can decide on which platform I want to create this project. So we have two options here. One is VB and another one is C#. So I'll for this time, I'll keep it VB. Once I click on create, it will start creating the process, or in simple language, project. And in that project, we have multiple dependencies, all the files, all the packages in a common folder, which we can port from one machine to another. And that becomes very handy to us. So guys, this is the main page which we will be using for designing our workflows or our bots. And if you can see, we have a ribbon pane here. I'll explain you the components of this particular page one by one. Before that, so this ribbon pane here is divided into three main components. One is home, another one is design, and third one is debug. So the home component, once you click on home component, you will see the same page. You can make certain settings, which we will discuss later. But today we are going to discuss about the components of design pane. So what all components are available to help us in creating a bot or in creating a workflow in UiPath Studio. We are going to discuss that. In a previous session or in a previous video, I have discussed about the steps to install UiPath Studio Community Pro Edition. And after installing that tool on your machine, you will be landed on this particular interface, which is UiPath Studio. So guys, let's start with the first component here. You can see a new button here. Once you click this new button, a drop-down list will appear in front of you. And this drop-down list is for multiple templates or layouts which are available to create a workflow. So what are those layouts which are available? So one is sequence. So right now, I'll just give you a brief introduction about each and everything, because we are going to use these layouts and these templates in our future workflows for creating the workflows. That time we'll discuss these things in detail. But right now, I'm just giving you just an overview about each and every option available on this screen or on this interface. So sequence is used for creating a workflow which is sequential in nature, or which follows top-down approach, or which is very straightforward. So suppose we don't have multiple loops, multiple conditional statements, or multiple nested loops. In that case, we use sequence, where we have top-down approach. Usually, we have these kind of approach for UI interactions. Suppose if you are interacting with some UI elements, step by step, one after another, in that case, we use sequence. So the first layout which is available here is, talking about second layout which is available here is flowchart. So flowchart is used when we have some nested loop and where we have some conditional statements. So wherever we require a proper systematic template or a layout which can display the nested loops, which can display the conditional statements, in that case we need flowchart, and we can use this flowchart option or layout for creating that kind of workflow. Third is state machine. So state machine is usually not the layout which can be overused. So this is used for very complex processes where we have multiple states, multiple transitions between multiple states, and multiple transactions to be defined. So this is the third template, a layout which we can use for designing our workflows, which is for very complex workflows. And fourth option we have here is global handler. We call it global exceptional handler. So this particular option is used for, this particular option provides you the facility of exception handling in complete workflow. So we are going to discuss about what is exception handling, what is error handling. That time we are going to discuss this particular option available here. So there are 4 options under this new button. All right. So after this new button, on the right hand side, we have save button. So once we create a workflow here, so this is called designer panel. So in designer panel, once we create a workflow, that workflow can be saved by clicking this button. So next button here is export as template. So export as template is a button which can be used to export this workflow. Suppose if you have created this workflow and you want to use that workflow as a template, then you can use this button to use that workflow as a template. Next button is debug file. So once you click on this debug file, we have 3 options: run file, debug, and run. So these 3 options which are available here can be used for running or executing or debugging the file which is opened on the designer panel. So now let us understand what is the difference between run and debug. So if you want to execute your project, you will click on run. But if you want to step by step execute that, if you want to execute it step by step, you will use debug button. And usually debug button takes more time to execute your project because it executes step by step, and run button takes lesser time because it executes complete project which is open on the screen. So this button will be used multiple times once you create a workflow and once you once you test or once you execute this workflow, this button will be used. After that, we have 3 buttons: cut, copy, and paste. This is very similar to the Windows application where we have edit button. And in edit button, we have this cut, copy, and paste. If we want to cut some part of our workflow, some activity from our workflow, so these terms, workflow, activity, these terms will be frequently used terms in UiPath. So activity means all the options here available here, which we can drag and drop here, are called activities. We are going to discuss this panel and this activities thing. Also, workflow means a proper project or a proper bot which we develop for some specific scenarios called workflow. We call it workflow in UiPath terminology. So if you want to cut some component from that, we use cut button. If you want to copy, we use copy button. And if you want to paste that component somewhere, we can use paste button. So these are 3 buttons which are available. Moving to the right hand side, we have a button called manage packages. Suppose if we are working on some scenario for which by default the activities are not available. Like for an example, suppose if we are working on some data manipulation or some email related thing or some SAP related thing. So if we don't have that package by default installed on our UiPath Studio, we can install it from this particular button. Once we click on manage packages, this window will appear, and from here we can decide which package we want to download and install. So this also we are going to practice once we are ready with the Studio interface. So this button is used for downloading the packages and installing the packages which are not available by default. So let me tell you, by default, UiPath provides total 8 activity groups, or we call it 8 activities: app integration, computer vision, orchestrator, programming, system, UI automation, user events, and workflow. So apart from this, if you need any extra activity for your workflow, for your scenario, you can download it from manage packages. Then we have recording button. So this recording button is used to record the actions on your screen, on your desktop, on web, or image, or Citrix, anything. So we are going to use these recordings one by one. We are going to demonstrate those recordings one by one. So what recording will do, it will automatically create a workflow depending on the actions which you perform on your screen or on your machine. So this is the thing which you can simply record. By using this, you can simply record few actions, and then if you want your computer to mimic those actions multiple times, you can use these recorders. After that, so we have total 6 recorders available here: basic recorder, web recorder, desktop recorder, image recorder, native Citrix recorder, and computer vision. Previously it was 5, but now in the newer version they have provided 6 recording options. After that, we have screen scraping and data scraping buttons. These two buttons are used to scrape data from various platforms. So what are platforms we can use to scrape data? So, any web application, desktop application, or databases can be used to scrape data from using these two options: screen scraping and data scraping. Next is user events. Suppose you want to introduce some user events, or suppose you want to capture keyboard and mouse events in your workflow, you can use this button called user events. Here we have on click element, on key press element, on click image, monitor mouse, monitor keyboard. After that, we have one very important button here, which is called UI Explorer. So UI Explorer is used to modify and validate selector. So now what is selector? Selector is a plain text which can take us to, or which can be called as a path, which will take us to a specific UI element. So that selector is something which is very important topic, which is considered to be very important topic of UiPath course. So we are going to discuss that topic in very detail. But for now, once you are using selector, once you are incorporating selectors in your workflow, you will need this option called UI Explorer. All right. So I'll give you an example of selector. If you automate a web page, then it stores the information it goes through. You can use or access that information at any point of time using these selectors. All right. So now next button we have on the right hand side of UI Explorer is remove unused variables. Suppose while creating a workflow, suppose if we have created 10 variables, but out of those 10 variables, if we have used only 7 variables and 3 variables are created extra and they are of no use, we can directly delete them using this button. So once you click on this button, it will directly delete the variables which are not in use. After that, we have analyze file. We can analyze the file by finding out errors and multiple violations in the file which is opened here, which we have created. So this is for analyzing the health of file. Next is export to Excel. Suppose if you want to export the workflow to Excel or data to Excel, you can use this option, or you can use this button, which is called export to Excel. Next is publish button. So here, this button can be used to publish the project to deploy in Orchestrator server. If it is deployed on the server, then hundreds or thousands of computers which are connected with that orchestrator can use that code or that workflow to automate their processes, whether it may be front-end process or a back-end process. So this is the function of this publish button. So already we have discussed all the buttons which are available here. Let me now introduce you with the various panels available here. So the very first and most important panel here is activity panel. This panel is used to drag and drop activities from here. Suppose if I want to create a new sequence, so suppose if we have a very simple process, for that if we are creating sequence, I'll name it demo sequence. So inside the project which we have created demo 1, we are creating demo sequence. Here we can decide the location, and once we click on create, the sequence will be created here. So it is always recommended that you rename a sequence or any activity once you drag and drop it. So here I have drag and drop it, a sequence for demonstrating the activity panel. So I'll rename it with demo sequence underscore activity panel. Also, I can provide annotations to give a brief introduction about this activity or this process. So here I can type anything. This sequence is created to demonstrate the activity panel, right? So this is how we can create we can add the annotations to the workflow or any other activity. So suppose if we use any of the activities, if you want to use any of the activities, and we click here, it will open and it will give us the complete list of all the activities available here. Here we have options like recent and favorites. So what all activities I'll use most frequently will be listed here, and the activities which I have opened or which I have used recently will be placed here. Suppose if I want to use this assign activity, I have to drag and drop it here. And once I drag and drop it here, it will ask some of the inputs from my side. So this is the designer panel where I can drag and drop the activities. So first of all, I have taken a sequence, and then one by one, I can add all the activities depending on the need of my scenario. So one by one, I will add all the activities. We can search in this global search option. Here we can search the name of activities. Suppose your activity is related to Excel. You can type Excel here. Suppose it is related with PDF. You can type PDF here. Suppose it is related to email. You can type email here. Like this, we can use this search, universal search option. Suppose if you want to drag and drop any activity or suppose if you want to use any activity from this activity panel, you need to configure that activity in the right side panel, which is called properties panel. Here we provide input to this particular activity. So this exclamation marks can be seen here just because we have not put any input, we have not provided any input to this assign activity. So once we provide input, we can either provide it here, we can type here, or we can use this property panel or properties panel to provide the inputs through this. So every activity has its own properties, and we can use or we can decide what inputs we want to give. Suppose if I drag and drop this activity, it will ask me some other options. If we drag and drop this activity, it will ask some more options, some more inputs from my side. Like this, every activity has its own properties, and we have to provide those properties to use that particular activity. So guys, this is how we can use the studio panel or studio user interface of UiPath and activities panel, designer panel, and properties panel. In the next session, we are going to discuss about all other buttons available here, all other tabs available here, and one by one we will start these activities. We will start to demonstrate these activities using some use cases. So for every activity, I have specific use case through which I will explain you that how we can use that activity. Thank you for watching this video. See you for the next video lecture series. Bye-bye.